Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. The Young and the Restless. Audra needs a reboot. Tucker is the worst thing to ever happen to promising Vixen. The Young and the Restless, Y&R. Spoilers reveal that Audra Charles Zalika Silver is stuck in a pairing that feels like it's going nowhere fast. Even Audra herself may realize that deep down, since she's so against the idea of marrying Tucker McCall, Trevor Street John. It was one thing for Tucker and Audra to be casual hookup partners. Buying them as friends with benefits wasn't so bad, but Audra and Tucker just aren't believable as some brand love story. Belle, aka Ashley Abbott's Eileen Davidson, recently told Audra that she could do better than Tucker, and we're inclined to agree. That's especially true when single Nate Hastings, seen Dominic, is right there waiting to be paired up with a new leading lady. Of course, Belle also acted like Audra was with Tucker because of her daddy issues, which may be true as well since we know Audra indeed had a complicated relationship with her alcoholic father. Regardless, Audra and Tucker's romance doesn't have any real substance. It just feels like Y&R threw Tucker and Audra together because they didn't know how else to keep filling airtime with these characters. Why is Tucker so obsessed with tying the knot with Audra? Is it because Tucker really does view Audra as some sort of Ashley replacement and a way to prove he's moved on? Maybe it's mostly just a contrived way of creating conflict since Audra is so adamant that she doesn't want to take that marriage step with Tucker. Even if she later changes her mind, Audra and Tucker are never going to be some amazing super couple. In fact, we'd say Audra could use a reboot right about now. Audra was once a promising vixen on the canvas, but Tucker has arguably become the worst thing to ever happen to her. Now Audra is boring when she's capable of so much more. Audra needs to be scheming all over town and mixing it up with different characters instead of being trapped in this Tucker pairing that's flopping hard. In other words, Audra isn't living up to her full potential, but Y&R could change all that by setting her free from Tucker and giving her a reset. Our predictions point to Tucker and Audra's relationship crashing and burning eventually, so we'll give you updates on any terrible news that might be ahead for this couple. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Audra and Nate seem like the far better pairing option, so stay tuned to see if they might become an item down the road. In the sprawling city of New Haven, where dreams and ambitions intermingle with grit and determination, Audra Street Claire stood at the precipice of her career. A promising vixen in the cutthroat world of fashion design, she possessed a raw talent that whispered promises of greatness. Yet fate had woven a tangled web around Audra, and in the heart of her storm stood Tucker, a force of chaos disguised as opportunity. Audra's studio, nestled in the heart of the city's vibrant arts district, buzzed with creative energy. Bolts of fabric cascaded from shelves, sketches littered every surface, and the whir of sewing machines provided a symphony of progress. Audra herself, a vision of determination draped in elegance, moved through the chaos with purpose. But beneath her facade of confidence lay a torrent of doubt. Her once promising career had stalled, trapped in a cycle of mediocrity. Each collection, though meticulously crafted, failed to capture the imagination of the fashion elite. Audra knew she needed a reboot, a spark to reignite the fire that had once burned so brightly within her. Enter Tucker Kingsley, a titan of industry with a smile as deceptive as it was charming. Tall and impeccably dressed, Tucker exuded an air of authority that demanded attention. He sauntered into Audra's studio one fateful afternoon, his presence casting a shadow over her sanctuary of creativity. "Miss Street Claire," Tucker purred, his voice dripping with honeyed malice. "I've heard whispers of your talent, but whispers won't get you far in this city, my dear." Audra bristled at his condescension, but beneath her anger lurked a flicker of curiosity. Tucker was infamous in the fashion world, his connections reaching every corner of the industry. Perhaps aligning herself with him could be the reboot she so desperately needed. Over the following weeks, Audra found herself entangled in Tucker's web. He showered her with promises of fame and fortune, dangling opportunities like carrots before a starving rabbit. But with each offer came a price, a compromise of her artistic integrity, a surrender of her vision. At first, Audra resisted. She clung to her principles like a lifeline, refusing to bend beneath Tucker's relentless pressure. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Audra's resolve began to crumble. The allure of success, coupled with Tucker's insidious charm, proved too potent to resist. Under Tucker's guidance, Audra's designs underwent a transformation. Gone were the bold strokes and daring innovations that had once defined her work. In their place stood pale imitations of the latest trends, soulless replicas crafted to appease the masses. Audra watched in silent horror as her creativity withered under Tucker's oppressive hand. But even as her career soared to new heights, Audra found herself consumed by a profound emptiness. The accolades and adulation meant nothing in the absence of artistic fulfillment. She had become a puppet, dancing to Tucker's tune with every step. It wasn't until a chance encounter with an old friend that Audra began to see the truth. Mia, a fellow designer who had once shared Audra's passion for creativity, approached her with concern etched upon her face. "Audra, what happened to you?" Mia asked, her voice laced with sadness. "You used to be unstoppable, a force of nature. Now you're just another cog in the machine." Audra recoiled at Mia's words, the sting of truth cutting through her facade of denial. She had sacrificed everything on the altar of success, trading her dreams for hollow victories. In that moment she knew what she had to do. With a newfound determination burning in her veins, Audra confronted Tucker in his sleek downtown office. She stood tall, her eyes ablaze with defiance as she delivered her ultimatum. "I'm done, Tucker," Audra declared, her voice steady despite the tremors of uncertainty that rocked her soul. "I won't be your puppet any longer. My creativity is not for sale." Tucker's mask of charm slipped, revealing the true face of the man beneath. His eyes darkened with fury, his lips contorting into a snarl of disdain. "You'll regret this, Audra," he spat, his voice a venomous hiss. "You think you can walk away from me? You're nothing without me, do you hear me? Nothing." But Audra remained unmoved, her resolve unshakable in the face of Tucker's wrath. She turned on her heel and strode from the office, leaving behind the trappings of her former life. In the days that followed, Audra returned to her studio with a renewed sense of purpose. She poured herself into her work with a fervor that bordered on obsession, channeling her pain and frustration into every stitch and seam. And as her designs took shape beneath her skilled hands, Audra felt something stir within her, a flicker of the fire that had once burned so brightly. Slowly but surely, Audra rebuilt her career from the ground up. With each collection, she rediscovered her voice as an artist, infusing her designs with a passion and authenticity that had long been absent. And though the road ahead was fraught with challenges, Audra faced it with a courage born of her newfound freedom. As for Tucker, his empire crumbled in the wake of Audra's departure. Without her talent to fuel his ambitions, he found himself adrift in a sea of mediocrity, his once formidable influence fading into obscurity. And though he would never admit it, a part of him knew that Audra had been the best thing to ever happen to him, a truth that would haunt him until the end of his days. In the end, Audra emerged from the ashes of her former life like a phoenix reborn. She had learned the hard way that success without integrity was no success at all. And though the journey had been long and arduous, Audra knew that she was finally where she was meant to be, a promising vixen, no longer in need of a reboot.